Hello!
Hello!
And welcome to the Orry Mill.
Yeah, and Slowcraft 8.
Slowcraft 8, my goodness. I'm Stephen.
Yeah. And I'm Thilde.
And Thilde is teaching me how to knit.
And about all things yarny, really.
All things yarn. Okay, so simple questions. I've been learning to knit with chunky yarn, and I'm really proud to say that I have finished one of my hats. So, finished my ribbon. This is chunky, yeah?
Super chunky.
This is super chunky, 100% merino wool. Very nice, love it. Very proud of myself for finishing that. That's great.
Yeah, you did well.
And this is really easy to use and it's very forgiving. But I wanted to move on to something finer or lighter.
Yes.
Because yarn has weight, yeah?
Yeah, so we can talk a little bit about weights today, aren't we?
So, what is the thickest yarn?
So the thickest we have in the shop is the super chunky. So the one you've been knitting with this rowan big wool.
Okay, round big. This ball is 100 grams.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's, what
yeah,
else?
and then we have the super chunky here from
Hold on,
Spinners.
they're both called super chunky.
Yes. So this is the thickest we use in the shop.
Is it the thickest that exists?
No. There's a jumbo as well.
A jumbo.
Yes.
What would you use jumbo for?
So
Scarves.
the arm knitting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
the famous arm knitting. However, they pill terribly. So if you're knitting a blanket, arm knitting a blanket, it's really just for show. So we don't really stock it in here.
So what is yarn weight? Yarn weight just refers to the thickness.
The thickness of
of
the yarn.
the weave or the
thickness of the wool.
the wool. Okay.
Yeah. So again, this is super chunky.
Okay. What's next after super chunky?
Then it's chunky, and we've got a couple here again. The retreat.
So these are quite different.
So you can see it's much finer.
Well, this is brushed fleece, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, what happens is that if you take 2 strands of this,
Yep.
then you get up to super chunky.
Okay. 2 strands of chunky
Yeah.
makes it super chunky.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting. See, even if you took 1 strand of this one and mixed it with this one, then you end up with a super chunky, and it actually gives quite a fun colour play as well, doing that. So that's a way of, if you want to knit with a chunkier wool, you can do that. I think we should do that. I think we
Let's
should
do
do
it.
that.
Yep, that could be a video, definitely. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Okay, and then like going lighter.
Yeah, so then we head down to your kind of Aran weight.
We'll
and
go
worsted.
to overhead camera by the power of television.
So we got some lovely ones. So these ones are quite popular. So you got the Croft from West Yorkshire Spinners, you got the Noro, and you got the Pure Super Worsted.
Okay, so these are kind of more like standard weights.
Well, the other ones are kind of standard.
They're all standard.
Yeah,
I kind of meant, I suppose, more common weights. No?
Well, I think that the one you'll find most colours in tend to be your double knitting.
I'm just going to pick my nose on camera, sorry.
But yes, so, but this one is very, so obviously you heard about Aran knitting.
Well, say that again. This is double knitting, this one.
No, these are all Aran. And
Aran weight.
worsted
A-R-A-N.
category.
Worsted and Aran are the same. A-R-A-N for Aran is the same. But I think worsted is American.
Yeah, it's more used in America, but you can see this is a round one, so, and they have it worsted. So,
But sometimes it's referred to as ply.
yes.
So interestingly, ply means folded.
Yeah, so technically there should be 10 strands of yarn kind of spun
Oh,
together.
Aran's 10 ply.
Yes, but there's not 10 in this one. It's
So it's more a reference point.
It's just a reference point to the thickness of the yarn.
Okay, but it could be that you could fold the fibres, maybe that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Because earlier on you were saying chunky, 2 chunky make a super chunky.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not exactly double.
No.
Because chunky is like maybe 12 ply and super chunky is like kind of 16 ply.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of folding it over is where it originates from.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so let's get lighter. Let's get lighter.
Yeah.
What comes after Aran? and worsted?
It's double knit.
Okay, this is the one I like. This is what kept saying DK, because you come from Denmark. Denmark's referred to as DK.
Yes. So actually, we don't really, for some reason, we don't really put them into these kind of. Obviously, you have different yarn thicknesses.
In Denmark, you don't put them into
but
categories.
You don't really put them into categories. So I was always,
Why
when I
not?
lived there, I was like, why does it say DK? Obviously, living over here, suddenly realised what it was all about.
Why do you not put it in categories in Denmark?
Don't know. It's you break the rules, I think.
You break the rules.
Yeah, you just
You try to
take
tell me
yarn-
the Danes
you
are
just-
a country of rebels.
Yes. But it was not something I was familiar with when I lived in Denmark.
Okay. Right, so now we're getting into, so I can see obviously baby, so DK for baby, but Bo Peep is also baby, but then that Blueface Leicester could be for whatever you want, really.
Yeah, this one here is actually being rebranded to just being called Pure because it's 100% Falkland Island wool, so it's ideal for adult garments. And it's just such a...
Rebranded to lose the Bo Peep thing.
Yeah, because initially it was created...
How'd you know that? Have you got a hotline to West Yorkshire Spinners?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I do.
The West Yorkshire Spinners hotline. Boop. Okay, so I like it. We're getting finer as we go. I'm excited to see how fine can we go.
Yeah.
Let's see something else. So that was DK.
Yes, then we go down to 4-ply.
Okay, so this is now. I mean, it's not super fine, but it's like kind of it's finer. And this is Jameson and Smith. This is what interesting about this one is that people this is referred to on our website as what 4-ply.
2-ply.
2-ply, but this is 4. Okay, so there's this label 4-ply. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not in focus.
So this one is actually... So that is... You can see it says 4-ply on there. So that's a cotton one.
But it's technically the same thickness as this.
Yes.
Which is called.
Jumper weight. 2-ply jumper weight.
So why are 2 numbers used for the same thing?
So because there's 2 strands of wool spun up.
So this is a genuinely where it's folded
Yeah.
ply.
Yeah. So they're talking about the folded ply there, but it is knitting up as a yarn weight 4-ply.
Did Jameson Smith only do a 4-ply?
No.
A 2-ply?
No.
Do they do all the thicknesses?
They do quite a number of thicknesses, yeah.
Okay.
We just don't have them yet.
Okay. Oh, trying to focus on the hoof.
And then you got your traditional sock yarn is traditional a 4-ply.
Sock yarns are 4-ply. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You can get sock yarn to other thicknesses, but that's the most common.
What would you do? But this is you do a jumper, a nice fine
Yeah.
weight jumper.
So in that one, you would you would use that one here as for Fair Isle. This is really good for colour work
Because it's finer.
because it's wool and because the fibres, just not necessarily because it's finer. It's just because it's wool and it just works really well. It's quite a nice and sturdy wool for colour work, and because it's wool, they hold colour work better. They kind of almost felt a little bit together, so it just kind of stabilises the colour work.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not really.
Okay.
Good. Let's move on. So now we're getting to what's this?
This is
Super
lace.
fine. This is lace.
This is lace.
Do you have?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the wee chart. And we've got 0 is lace and 1 is superfine. So we don't have superfine.
So no, we actually don't have superfine. A lot of the yarn brands we had in the shop, we did have one, but they discontinued it. We had a Peyton's one, but that yarn was discontinued. It's because a lot of people are knitting baby shawls, and I just think that commercially it's probably not that
These are very
much.
soft. I mean, this is a very soft Falkland wool and mulberry silk.
Yeah, it's amazing, this one. That is great for, so if you had like a 3-ply pattern, a lot of people now replace it either with the 2-ply of this one or the 4-ply in that one.
So in our last video we were talking about swapping out a wool and we're having to go down a size.
Yeah.
Because we were using a thicker wool or a finer. Sorry.
We're going to use a thicker wool. Yeah.
Right. So the opposite here. If you're going to use, you could actually go up a size. So say that again. People are using shawls.
So when you're knitting shawls, again, the tension isn't like super important.
Okay.
Because you're not trying to make a garment that fits. So if a shawl turn out a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, it's not the end of the world. So a lot of people are using this one. And again, to have a look at how many meters there's one in one.
800 meters.
Yeah, so you can imagine. We tend to yarn, we spin this up for customers because there's so much in it, because otherwise they will be sitting for hours kind of rolling that into a ball themselves, unless they have a yarn swift and a ball winder.
A yarn swift and a ball winder. Interesting. Yeah. So all these wools have got nice wool bands which tell you this information here.
Yeah.
How do you know, if I lose my wool band, how do I know that I'm using a superfine 1, which is a 3-ply, or a 2, which is a fine 4-ply, or a DK even? Because I somebody like you wouldn't really be able to tell. I mean, I could probably guess this is a fine yarn, but how do I know if I've got nothing? I just find it in a stash.
If you just find, and it's often actually happens between double knit and Aran weight.
Okay.
So what you do is you take something to wrap your yarn round, and this is where, if you've seen the wrap pins or the WPI, so take a needle and let's just find a random ball of wool behind here. Probably just take the super chunky actually. So you also have a tape measure. So you want to wrap your yarn around your needle, and you want to wrap it round so it kind of measures 1 inch. So let's just see. Can you hold the tape measure up and see how I got about 1 inch now? I'm not used to inches, so I think we got a little bit over.
Let's go. Let's zoom in a wee bit.
So it's probably more like there. So then we count the number of wraps we have here. So you can see we have about 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then you go over to your chart.
Okay, so that's wraps per inch.
Yeah.
And you would get a chart like this one, which you're going to show on our website.
Yeah.
One we prepared earlier, good old Blue Peter. And so you can tell, which corresponds to tension. So the tension is the thing. So as you're knitting something into a fabric, and it's becoming a length of fabric, then that's going to have a tension. And normally you can be able to tell your tension. So there should be 11 stitches per 10 centimetres, which corresponds to 6 wraps per inch for super chunky.
So the 11 stitches or less, that is super chunky. And
this is chunky.
This is super chunky.
This should be knit up to about 11 stitches per 10 centimetres or less.
But it's important, if it doesn't state anything, it's in what's called stocking stitch. So a row of knit, a row of purl, a row of knit. So
which is not what this is.
This is a rib, so you can't really.
It's not the same.
No.
So I've got it. So it's just a guide then.
Yeah, it's a guide, and you'll find it on all. So this is stocking stitch. Look here. So this in the sock, you can see nice and flat.
We're losing light here.
Yeah. So this is kind of, we call it flat knitting in Denmark.
Flat knitting.
Yeah.
So what thickness is this?
Gladstrike. So this is a 4-ply.
So this should be, by our chart, 24 to 28 stitches per 10 centimetres.
Yeah.
Or 18 to 24 wraps per inch.
Yeah, so if you wrap this round, what?
18 times. This is exciting, isn't it?
Sorry.
We're wrapping wool round a needle. But yeah, this is good because this is actually quite informative because it lets me know. Okay.
So this is 18. How are we? So I think we can
move your
get
fingers. Let's look it in place.
Yeah, I think we can actually get a few more in. So yeah, we can get a few more in. So that fits nicely with.
That's perfect. That's exactly what it says.
Yeah.
It's 28 stitches. No, 18. Sorry, 18 wraps per inch.
Yeah, 18 to 24.
And you're quite
strands.
loose there as well. You could tighten that
Yeah,
up,
so
definitely.
yeah, so we're definitely within the 4 ply.
Amazing. How interesting. So I feel like I'm learning something every day. Every day is a school day.
Yeah, and yesterday you learned how to purl two together.
Yes, I did. And we're going to another video about how to, what did you call it? How to shape.
So that's
What was I doing?
That you were basically shaping the top of your hat.
I was shaping the top of my hat, yes. And we were doing, where's my hat gone?
Yeah.
And bring in the overhead cam. So to get this curve like a bell, what was I doing?
So initially the first one you were doing was purl two together.
Okay.
And then you were knitting.
This is my
together.
purl here. This inner row.
So first we kind of
The
decreased in
insidey.
the purl bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see here, this is where we decrease in the knit bit, where we're knitting two together.
Mm-hmm. And
then we were doing another knit two together.
So we probably need to do a pattern for this, and then this is the next after the beanie, the Baltic beanie.
Yeah.
We should have this, and we should name it something, because that's a more satisfying beanie to make. But I think you have to have a go at the Baltic first.
The Baltic, yeah.
And then go and do this one, which we'll name as.
Yeah, you can name it.
We'll think about that for next time. And we'll have a nice pattern to do this beanie, which is quite a satisfying knit. And then eventually we'll have the finer beanie, which is going to come next. And that'll make up our. Now, you've been treating yourself. That'll change the subject. A little way away from. I noticed this. What on earth is this you've been buying?
Oh, yes.
And I found this box, and you've been buying this box.
Do you want to show it on the overhead cam?
Yeah. Now let's zoom out for this. This has nothing to do with knitting.
No.
It's not really working. This is barrel-aged perfume from a company called Fern, with the rather cool and hip 2 Fs. Oh, I can't quite find the
sweet spot there. So yes, I decided that I wanted to give this a go.
So its season is summer 23, barrel aging days 42, mature, I don't know what that means. Aging in Viron, or Somerset. Bottling date 22nd of April 23. Ingredients, top, mid and base notes of this rather nice perfume. And it's the Fern artist is Cece Lee. So it's very nice. It comes in a nice box. You get a nice card.
Yeah, I haven't even opened that
I
yet.
haven't opened the card. Do you want to open it?
Yeah, let's see what's in there. But it looks like there's a really nice card thing in here.
That's very nice. And then it gives you information about the perfume itself.
Yeah, and it just tells you a little bit about some of the things here.
Oh, this is quite good. Look at this.
Yeah. So that's that one there they're showing.
Terra diffusion stones, handmade in Norfolk.
Using locally dug clay. Okay.
Locally dug clay, and there's this. What's this? Well, there's an actual smelly bag of potpourri.
No, that is not.
Well, it's tea.
Yes, it's tea.
It's tea, and you can't really see this, I'm afraid, because of the light. The light's a bit too bright.
Yeah, if you turn that light down over there a bit. You need to have it down here because that's where the focus is. But yeah, so that's a Fern tea.
And then there is some more sampling guide.
Yeah, because what you do get is you get a wee sample of the scent before. Yeah. before you actually open the
actual
things,
bottle.
because you can actually return it if you don't like it.
Right, that's very nice. There's a choice, or did you just pick random?
No, there's only one choice.
Oh, they release it at a certain
So
season.
there is only, and you even got these wee.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then with this nice box.
Yeah, so I haven't opened that one yet.
Do you want to open it?
Yeah, let's try and see how.
So it is a kind of, it's quite interesting. It's kind of citronella.
Yeah, but see, the scent seems to change. That's what all these.
It's worth pointing out there is no reason that we're doing this other than we just thought it was nice. We're not. We don't have it for free, and we're not sponsored. They didn't give us it or anything.
No.
You bought this online.
Yeah.
And we didn't tell them we were doing it. We just thought it was nice.
So yeah, this is.
We like businesses. We like to develop our business, and this is a nice business that seemed to have a really nice vibe. I like their packaging.
Yeah.
It's all recyclable packaging.
Yeah.
It's really pretty stuff. It's a really nice smell. It's really individual.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would wear it. I mean, it is quite feminine. It's not totally feminine.
No.
There's a kind of slight, I don't know, slight woodiness to it that makes it a kind of maleness as well.
Yeah.
That a man could get away with it.
But I find that
on the gender, if you're being pretty strict about binaries and all that, but we're not saying that. We're just simply saying it can cross the gender binary quite easily, quite comfortably.
Yeah, no, it's a nice sweet product.
Good.
And I'm planning to get the next one as
You're
well.
planning to buy yourself things?
Yes.
Well,
that is not yarn.
It's not yarn. Okay, can't wait. Oh well, I hope that was helpful, and you got. There's our address. I hope that was helpful, and you got something about yarn weights and thicknesses.
Yep.
So until next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.